Hi, I'm Corey the Homemade Chef. Today we got a great pumpkin oatmeal recipe for you. So if you love pumpkin, you're gonna love this. Let's go inside and get started. Hey, we got some great ingredients in this recipe, so let me show you what we got. Right here we got some evaporated milk. We got some old-fashioned oats. We have almond milk. We have water. We have butter. We have pumpkin spice. We have 100% pure pumpkin. We have brown sugar. We have vanilla extract. We got sea salt, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Okay, let's get to the stove. First thing we're going to start with is our liquids. We're going to get our liquids in there and we're not going to let them boil. So let me show you what we're putting in there first. So first we're going to put in a cup of water. We're going to add in 2 cups of almond milk. This is the basis of your recipe, so it's very important that you get all the measurements right. And then you're going to add 1 cup of evaporated milk. This is not sweet evaporated milk, it's just a regular evaporated milk. And we're going to put that on a medium to high heat and let it simmer. We don't want it to boil. Now let's go grind our oatmeal. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our oatmeal. Okay, over here we got 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. And you know why I make this video is because a lot of people tell me, oh, the oatmeal, I don't eat oatmeal because the oats are so big and they're so now I'm going to show you how to defeat that problem. We have our little food processor here. We're going to dump our 2 cups of oatmeal into this food processor. Right here, we're going to dump that in there. And what we're going to do, we're going to grind it down. So this is our little food processor. It's 2 cups of oatmeal in there. Basically, after you finish grinding it, you're going to have a cup and a half. So we're going to grind this for about 30 to 40 seconds. And we're going to dust it out. I'll show you how it looks in a minute. We're grinding this for about 30 to 40 seconds. And then we went from these big oats, to look, a powder. This is going to make it so smooth. And now you do not have a reason not to eat oatmeal. And once you taste this, I guarantee you'll never have it any other way. So right now, we're going to go back to our liquids. We're going to see how our liquid is doing on the stove, and we're going to add our butter into that. Our milk is simmering. We do not want it to boil because then it will overflow. And then it will cause a layer. So you know, the first thing we're going to put right now is our 3 tablespoons of butter. And don't let that splash in there. Try to get it in there nice and easy because that milk is hot. So what I want to do is I want to let that melt. That's the 3 tablespoons of butter. I want to let that melt. Once that starts to melt, we're going to add in all of our powder. Our butter melted up. Like I said, you're going to need a whisk. Because to get these powders in here, you're going to need to whisk them. So the first thing we're going to add in here is a couple of dashes. You could put either 1 or 2 dashes. It depends on how you like your nutmeg. I like between 1 and 2 dashes of nutmeg. So I'll put that in there first. Nutmeg is very, very rich. It's very strong. And you have to whisk that in really good. So that's 1 to 2 dashes of nutmeg. Then we got a half of teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Again, that's a half. And this is all going to be on my website, CoreyTheHomemadeChef.com. And then we're going to add in our vanilla extract. And we got a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Again, that's another really strong. So you see that's a half a teaspoon of the vanilla extract. And then we're going to add in our cinnamon. And we got 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Got 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're going to whisk that in there really good. See how that cinnamon is there? I'm going to whisk that down until it disappears. I want it to blend in nice. Now if I don't whisk it, it's probably going to lump up. And then you're going to have lumps of cinnamon all in there. And we don't want nothing lumpy. This is supposed to be nice and smooth like ice cream, but just in a hot way. So the last thing we're going to add in there is our salt. Now we have a half a teaspoon of salt. And that's going to be salt. And we're going to whisk that up. And we're gonna let that simmer for a little couple of seconds. At this point, I turn my heat down to low because I don't want the milk to bubble over, okay? We're gonna let that sit for a couple of seconds, and we're gonna go and add our brown. Now we're gonna add in a half a cup of brown sugar. Now, I wanna spoon this in because I don't want it to splash and you get burned, or even for myself to get burned. So we're putting in a half a cup of light brown sugar. Now, we just added in our sugar. We're gonna whisk that up. Thing we're gonna whisk in there. Now we still gotta add our pumpkin, our pure pumpkin. That's gonna be last. So we got the sugar in there, and now we gotta see. Remember I told you we broke that down? We started with 2 full cups of old-fashioned oats. After we broke it down, let's look at that. It's just a little over 1.5 cups. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna whisk in, pour the oatmeal in slowly, and whisk it in. And the reason why we're gonna whisk that in, because we don't want it to get lumpy. As you see, I'm pouring it in there, and I'm whisking at the same time. I'm whisking, and this is a 2-quart pot. Just to let you know that this is a 2-quart pot that we're using here. Okay, we're getting that in there, all whisked in there really nice. Okay. And we still have our flame on low. So what we're gonna do after this, we're gonna add our pumpkin in there in a couple of minutes. We're gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes so the oatmeal can start to rise. Basically, it can start to cook. Okay, you see how smooth that is? It's not lumpy, no lumps. Look at the oatmeal, see what we're getting. See, we're getting that bubbling effect right now, right? So I'm gonna turn it back down a little bit so we can stop that bubbling. And then we're gonna spoon in our half a cup of pure pumpkin. We're gonna spoon that in. Mix that up, and you can get the full recipe at Corey, the homemade chef. Well, I gotta take it easy. Corey, the homemade chef.com. You see how that color changed just now? I'm putting that so you actually watch it in action. Look at that. Changed beautiful. So basically now it's been cooking, this oatmeal's been cooking about 5 minutes. I'm gonna let this cook 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna bowl this up. I'm gonna put this in a bowl, and I'm gonna show you how I bowl it. How I put this in a bowl, if you don't know what that means, how I bowl it. So if you got someone you wanna impress, I'm gonna show you how to do that in a second. I'm gonna show you how to plate this like if you were in a restaurant. So here we go. We're gonna plate it, we're gonna try to be as neat as possible. So if you wanna impress anybody, this is a great way to do it. Look at that. So we're gonna try to be as neat as possible. Getting all in the middle of your bowl. See how thick that is? This is gonna hold you. You eat this in the morning, you make this the night before, and you take this with you in the morning and you eat it at work or eat it before you go to work, you will not be hungry. Look at that. See that? Beautiful. Beautiful. Now this is a 2-quart pot. So this will feed between 5 to 8 people depending on how you serve it in size. See what I'm doing? I'm just shaking it down to get it nice and even. Like I said, we're gonna serve it like if we were in a restaurant. Boom. Now we're gonna put some pure pumpkin. By the way, this is canned pure pumpkin, 100% pure canned pumpkin. So now we're gonna scoop up some of that in a spoon, and we're gonna sit that right in the middle. Right in the middle, look at that. Sit that pumpkin in the middle, and then we're gonna take a little bit of our pumpkin spice, and we're gonna dab it around the plate. So you see how we getting that? Are you getting that, camera man, woman? Look at that. Boom. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our full pumpkin oatmeal. And what I love about my videos, it's time to eat. Let me get a spoon. It's kind of hot, so don't hold it in your hand like I can. I do it because I'm so used to the heat. Here we go. Look at that. So I wish you could smell this. The smell is amazing. This is so fall, it's unbelievable. Definitely gotta Blow it a little. Wow. The pumpkin is amazing. The spice. Man, I'm ready for Halloween. Let's go. This is great. You know me, I could always sit here and eat this entire thing, but it's time to go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember, you're one step closer to becoming a homemade chef. I'm Corey the Homemade Chef, and you can get this full recipe on my website, CoreyTheHomemadeChef.com. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.